nothing
who
but.
haven't seen it so far. Or, I know some people have seen it, some people are in it. We have very special guests tonight. Thank you all for coming. If you don't know what this is Femmes Reading Filth.
Yes.
I'm Emily Baruchin.
And I'm Jess.
And this is Femmes Reading Filth. That's how we start all of our episodes.
Every single episode.
Always a nice, a little off-key harmony. We're a smutty podcast. We pick a trope, we read a book and a fan fiction, and we talk about it, and we say cuss words, and we say sex scenes, and we say things, and it's fun. And I get all squeaky, and you get all low.
She does get really squeaky. And we're listen to podcasts. And you should check us out sometime if you like to hear about sex scenes and fanfiction and stuff.
Or just like friends talking. It's just a fun, chatty show.
But enough about us.
Yes.
We have two beautiful, wonderful guests here to listen to us tell a story. And so we have Nikki Ian, who plays so many wonderful roles, but mainly Carlisle in the Twihard musical. Do I have that right? Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we also have the bane of my existence, Ben Hebert. He is in RIP. He is a Chicago comedian by way of Houston.
We just talked about it. Do you need to reference the map again?
And he also hosts BiteSized, a Twilight podcast, which is actually super incredible. We've both been on it. And it looks at Twilight scene by scene.
Yeah,
right?
watching the Twilight movies in order one scene at a time. It is the worst possible way to watch a movie. To get through the first movie alone is going to take, I think, 72 episodes, and I just did episode 25. So if you want to listen to me and one of my friends talk about 90 seconds to 3 minutes of movie and really overanalyze the shit out of some Twilight, bite-sized, wherever you find podcasts.
Because of Twilight, Twihard, all the stuff that we're celebrating, something from our youth, something we love so much, we decided that today we're going to be talking about the most famous fan fiction that has come from Twilight, which is 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
It's a very serious book.
Very serious. A lot of weird shit happens in 50 Shades of Grey.
We're going to talk very seriously about this book. We're going to research it. We're going to go in depth these sex scenes.
We're going to tell you about it.
We're just kidding.
Are we going to act it
We're
out?
going to make fun of it. Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. Let's feel
I call bottom.
I have a beef with this show, actually.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this a good time to bring that up?
Nikki, I'm so sorry, but Ben has a beef with us.
And it specifically has to do with something Emily just said. You just said the word research. You talk about how you do a lot of research on this show a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you...
We're in our third season. We're getting better.
I'm here to tell you that's not true.
Oh, okay.
The very first episode I listened to of the show was back in season 1, because I'm a friend.
And which one was it?
This was sports.
The sports episode.
Now, I started with sports specifically because I'm a
Hockey
big sports
/
fan.
sports.
Yeah, sure, but it was just sports. If you're trying to find it on Spotify, look it up. And sports in general tend to be fertile ground for euphemisms, double entendre, if you will.
We were talking about hockey players fucking most.
Yeah, and you did not a single time use any hockey terminology
Why
that sounds
would we
really...
do that?
Because there's so much of it.
This is a book. It's not real. Okay?
No, but you
The
had...
sport isn't real in the
You
book.
had opportunities to say any of the following things that are all very real hockey
Wait,
terms.
And you've had this list for over
a year and a half.
Okay.
That episode came out in what, late 2022?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
The following is a list of real hockey terms that sound real gross.
Okay.
I'm not making any of these up.
We have a hockey player in this room actually right now, so I can look at them and ask if these are real.
I'm going to try to say these as sexy as possible. Here we go. Holding the stick.
Fine.
Pulling the goalie. Freezing the puck.
No, that's not
Penalty box.
sexy. Ooh, yeah.
Gross misconduct.
I don't want gross.
Wrap around.
Yeah.
Done. Been there, done that.
Passive box. Paddle.
Well, yeah.
Easy. No, too easy.
Grinder.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Goon.
Okay, that
These
was
are all real. Slot. Crease. Roughing. Icing.
You're getting really
flipping,
aggressive now.
Spearing. Hooking.
I just read the dictionary.
Butt ending.
But
High sticking. Stick work. Stick check. Poke check. Body check.
Your stance.
Cross check.
It's everything.
Hip check. Forecheck. Back
sleeve
check. check from behind. And my personal favorite, 5-hole.
Is that all correct? Okay, that's
You
all
didn't
correct.
say any of those in your hockey episode,
I'm so
and I just
sorry.
wanted to make sure that got taken care of.
Okay, well, I guess this is a formal apology and a big ol' fuck you to
Yeah,
Ben
you
Hebert
you can do your thing now.
for making us look like idiots on our podcast.
What about like Zamboner?
He just
Right.
said a better thing than
Add
your
it- add it
entire
to the
life.
I'll put it
That's not yours. You can't add that to
You
your
had a
list.
year and a half.
You're gonna have to come up with
I had
Zambo.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't come up. I didn't make up any of these. They all came from Wikipedia.
Oh, so this is even you just stole this from
Yeah.
I knew you were reading the
No, I
dictionary.
did the research that you didn't. What's on your paper?
Anyway,
Texas.
do we want to get into 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Great.
Do you feel good now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So a little bit of research, some background on 50 Shades of Grey.
Straight from Wikipedia.
Straight from
thank you.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So yes, 50 Shades of Grey is a Twilight fanfiction. E.L. James published it. I love the title. The original title, when it was published as a fanfic, was Master of the Universe.
Gross.
It was an Edward Bella fanfic, and E.L. James's name was Snow Queen Ice Dragon. So
Was
Snow
she-
Queen Ice Dragon published Masters of the Universe.
Did she also have any Frozen fanfic? I'm just wondering.
I don't think so.
I
I think
really
she was a hardcore Edward Bella gal.
Does she have any Yu-Gi-Oh fan fiction? With a name like Snow Queen Ice Dragon.
I know she was. I don't know if she was maybe a big Game of Thrones fan. I'm not sure. All of her fan fiction life has since been wiped from the internet because there was some things where 50 Shades maybe was a little too close to Twilight, and there were some legal situations.
We can comment on that in a minute. too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But one of the things that I love is I found a quote.
I
From,
hope she like downloaded it.
I know. She had a PDF or something.
You fucking pissed.
She has 2 laptops, one old one.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have that too. I had an old one that I play Sims on,
Yeah.
and then I have a new one that
For like real life
For all
stuff.
the-
yeah, other Sims and things.
I just downloaded Sims 4. We'll talk about it.
Oh my God, it's horrible, right?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Next podcast.
Yes, but Stephanie Meyer was asked about 50 Shades, and she said, "That's really not my genre, not my thing. Good for her. She's doing well. I guess that's great."
And you're like, they're best friends.
They really get along well.
I think that's an Olivia Rodrigo song.
Which you can hear in Twihard the musical. If you can come, a little snippet.
I want you to do like 4 more of those plugs throughout it. By the way, that's in Twilight.
We'll see if we can.
We
put
done
it in.
that, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
And then I think the last thing that we just want to say before we actually like summarize 50 Shades is, I'm assuming most people here know generally what 50 Shades of Grey is.
Clap if you don't know what 50 Shades of Grey is. Thank God. Okay.
Right. So then we know that there's some BDSM-y stuff. I have a lot of thoughts about that, and we'll get into it. But disclaimer at the top: there is nothing inherently wrong, and we're not making fun of BDSM or anybody who might like to do these things. We are making fun of how horribly it's written and how badly they do it in this book.
And that's to say, we don't normally, people who write things, they write things. Good for them. You know, that's their life's work. We're going to get into this story, though. And we have a lot of issues with everything. So, you know what? E.L. James is a fucking millionaire billionaire, so she does
we're
your
usually
shit.
not here to
so.
shit talk authors, but usually when we're talking about authors, they haven't made much money off of their work. And in this case, I think we're going to make a little
She's
exception.
going to be covered in the shit talk.
She's fine.
She's going to need
She's
2
fine.
rolls of toilet paper.
She's British and like 70 and living in the country.
She's
Justice.
She's Edinburgh.
I thought she has, like, kids.
Yeah.
I guess you can have kids if you're 70.
Yeah.
I thought that well, back in the day, she had. It doesn't matter. None of this is. Also, but the one tidbit is we were watching 50 Shades before this. We stopped in the middle to watch Barry Keoghan's Hot Ones.
I'm on a mission to make Emily think Barry Keoghan is hot.
I don't like it.
And
He's like a weird hot.
yes.
He has, his eyes are so small.
Yeah.
I don't like how small his eyes are. I don't know where they're looking half the time.
I'm okay with it because when he's looking at me and I'm looking bad, and then hopefully he doesn't see me.
That's true.
Yeah,
He's just looking everywhere else.
I don't know.
You can tell he's a boxer. He has that face.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He boxes with his face.
We did know that Yale James had to be on set for like all of the recording of 50 Shades the movie because of all this legal battle she got in with Twilight, and she got sued a bunch, and then she got out of it, but she had to make sure like every word was spot on so nothing would like come back to her and get like legal battles
So it
again.
wasn't too close to Twilight again.
It was, yes. So it was a very the movie is quite true to the book. So if you haven't read the book, don't. You just watch the movie. It's so much better.
Yeah.
It's leagues better. I watched that movie so much. I will be talking about the movie throughout this synopsis.
And so I read the book for this show. Hated it. Really, really hated it. Emily had read it before, but
A couple times.
I think you hadn't remembered how bad it was.
No.
And then
I read it on a I got on a website that was like a free reading of it, and you had to keep it open. If you ever closed it, you couldn't find it again. And my mom would keep coming in, so I'd open a new window.
Was it like on your old laptop where The Sims is?
Yes,
Yeah.
or the roller coaster tycoon is. And I'd just be
Oh my
like
God.
scrolling like this at 9 at night, being like, where did he touch her? What's going on? My life could have gone in a completely different direction, I feel like.
Yeah. Do you want to summarize the story?
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
50 Shades
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, so sorry for everyone who feels like that. You guys ready?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah, that was I watched 50 Shades of Grey 5 or 6 years ago. I'm ready.
I thought you were going to say 5 or 6 times.
No.
It's like, damn.
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really fun
Virgin.
to play a drinking game, too.
I love Dakota Johnson. She's funny.
She is great in this movie.
Okay.
Okay, she makes this awful character bearable.
Okay, great.
So, again, a plug for 50 Shades in the
I'm
movie.
in. Let's
Anastasia Steele. Anna for short.
A real name that actual people have.
Anastasia
Yes.
Steele.
She's
Beverly Hills.
Anastasia. Anastasia.
She's 21 years old, and she's going to Washington State University, and she's an English major, which works out well for all of us every single time.
Yeah.
I speak English.
Yeah, I do too. A little bit.
Kinda. Reading is,
And the first thing I wrote down in my notes was a quote that Anastasia Steele says in the first chapter, which is, "Double crap, me and my 2 left feet."
We're starting at
We're
starting at
I was so mad.
Okay, so the I also needed to know this, and I don't think anyone else cares, but the school is in Vancouver, Washington, which is by Portland, and Seattle is up here. And
Yeah.
so it's a 3-hour drive in between. And I just felt like everyone should know that because I didn't until tonight.
You thought it was Vancouver, Canada.
I thought it was like, you know how
entire
Baja, Mexico and Baja, California are a thing?
No.
And it's one on the side. Is that the same? I don't want to talk about this anymore.
It's exciting.
Can you draw us another map?
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
I need a pen.
Okay, so her best friend Kate, Catherine for long, Kavanaugh, is a journalist, and she's the valedictorian of the whole college.
And they're roommates.
And they're roommates, and
And
they're
they were
best
roommates.
friends, but she has the flu. And she can't make this very important interview
with the commencement speaker for their graduation.
yes, who is
Who's-
Christian Grey.
Christian
And-
Grey
and
Anastasia
elusive.
Steele.
Elusive?
Yeah. it's a word.
Exclusive?
What?
Billionaire.
Who is 27?
27.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
late 20s billionaire.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
best kind.
sexy.
Very. No problems.
Wow, I have no problem.
You mean like John? You mean like John Rockefeller?
Oh, God.
Late 20s billionaires, anyone? 1920s, am I right? Hey.
This is why we haven't had you on yet. But Kate has the flu. She cannot go and interview, so she asks Anna to do it, which, number one, wouldn't anyone else from the newspaper do it? Number two, Anna's not on the newspaper. She has no jurisdiction asking these questions.
She's Catherine's roommate. And she's like, hey, girl, can you drive up to Seattle for me and do this interview?
3 hours. Also,
hours.
wouldn't it be like a Zoom interview or a phone call? Like, that's a far drive.
Well, when was this published?
2011. A phone worked. Phones are things.
No, but she had to go see this 28-year-old billionaire person. It's very important for the plot.
In the words. In the words.
She goes to interview Christian Grey, and it's like a big, giant office building that has his name on the front of the building. And
Ray Enterprises.
Grey Enterprises.
I'm taken.
Yeah. Are you falling for Christian Grey right now a little bit? Okay, all right.
Lock it up.
We're
Lock
gonna
it up.
work to make that not happen.
Okay.
And so she basically stumbles her way through this interview. She whispers most of the time. There's a plot device.
She literally stumbles into the interview at one point.
She trips and
Well,
falls through the door.
Double crap for
of
two
his
left
office.
feet.
Double.
She's very clumsy.
Yeah.
Triple axle.
Yeah, because Anna, if we think about this in the fan fiction world, Anna is Bella.
She's Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
And
that
Clumsy
Christian
lady.
is Edward.
Yeah.
And they changed the names, but that's basically what we're doing here.
But
Yeah.
what makes me angry is that so she's in this sleek building. Everyone is blonde with like tight buns and like not buns but buns in the hair and like tight gray clothes. She's walking. She's in this like big flowy thing. She's like, la, la, la. She falls through and she's like, where am I? Who is this person? She doesn't know anything about this. I think the words were mega industrialist tycoon, and who is a major benefactor of the university as well as the commencement speaker. She doesn't know.
She hasn't done a Google.
She's never heard of this guy, but like this is like a Steve Jobs. This is a Bill Gates. Who else is rich?
That's it. That's the only two.
But yeah, you would in theory have known a little bit, or at least I would.
Bring this enough.
Maybe this is just who I am,
about it.
but if I was being
Being who
asked,
you are.
thank you. If I was being asked to go like do an interview for someone, I might Google that person or like ask for any information.
I feel like if someone was a billionaire, I would have heard their name before.
Maybe.
She acts like this is an alien that she's
But
never.
maybe
even
she
encountered.
tripped and fell really hard on her own face, and she just forgot stuff for a while. That's happened to me before.
That's true.
Oh, the office is all
Albert
white,
Works.
Oh yeah, the office is all white.
and it really bothers me. That's
Why?
just I just want to put that out there.
Sounds like
Okay.
it'd be hard on the eyes.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant all white as in the people who work there.
No.
Probably.
Oh, undetermined. Undetermined.
Seattle.
We don't know who's there, but
Everyone's still to Swinton.
everyone.
That would be incredible. I would love
No one. I'd be terrified walking in that office.
But he helps her up, and she gasps as he touches her through 3 layers of fucking clothing, and she sits down.
Take it off.
She's
Sorry, I'm
gasping.
being
She's
crazy.
gasping so much. She gasps.
Ah.
I'm worried that she has a lung issue. Like she is
Okay.
gasping and whispering quite a lot. And she goes for this interview. She's stumbling through it, as Jessica said. She's asking all these questions. She ends with, "Are you gay?" And then she's like, "I can't believe I asked him that because that's written on there. That's what Kate gave her." And
He's like, no.
He's
I'm
like,
gray.
You don't need me here.
"We need both of you."
I'll be on the
On the
next.
roll. I'm on the roll.
Who else am I gonna not high five? Ben, we need you here.
Yeah. And so he's kind of just like, he looks slightly angry through this whole thing and then kind of amused. And it's like, you're an asshole. It's just, you just get this awkward thing from him. She leaves and Kate's like, "Oh, yeah." And,
Yeah.
well, she's done with the interview.
Okay.
But, so yeah.
Good for her.
And,
She would just hang around.
Interview was done.
Anyway, cool. Can I sit on
Okay.
your couch for a little bit?
and she goes home. She's like, "Wow, what a day. Gotta go to work." She works at Clayton's, a
hardware
a
store.
hardware store.
Like someone else we may know from the Twilight series.
Yo.
Yeah.
Did she work?
Bella works. Doesn't someone work in a hardware store in the Twilight series?
Yeah, you know, she works at Mike's
Yes.
and a books.
Yes, she works.
I read the first one and half of New Moon,
Yeah.
Only half of it.
Yeah.
and so far she is still working at Mike's family's shop.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let us know how that goes.
Tie-in number 1.
Now it's updated.
She's gonna get married soon. She'll be fine.
Yeah. Who cares? Somebody. Whatever.
Eternally beautiful.
We have
We all love that.
And so she's working there. She gets hit on by what the son of Clayton. I don't know his name. I didn't write.
Mike.
Is
Well,
it Mike?
in Twilight.
Twilight.
In Twilight, but in the, I think is
I thought you were Brad 50
I
Shades.
don't
I was
remember
like,
the name of his 50 Shades equivalent though.
We'll call
doesn't-
him Matt.
We'll call him Matt.
Yeah.
Why
It's
not?
owned by
Is
Matt.
everyone
That's about
okay
as
with
far as
that?
they
We're
went.
gonna call him Matt. And as she's getting hit on, she's working. She's thinking about this brooding man that she just interviewed, and wow, what a day did she have? She's exhausted from talking to a guy, and she talks a lot about her subconscious, which she names the inner goddess.
This was no. This was one of my least favorite parts of this entire book. So Anna will every once no, Anna will not do this, but the book will be like, my subconscious is yelling at me to do this, or my subconscious is doing backflips. But then when it's sex related, it's her inner goddess. Like, my inner goddess wants to have sex with him. My inner goddess is laying on a chaise longue, like.
Your subconscious and your inner goddess are two very different things.
But they are intertwined, and they come up a lot in this book. She talks about her subconscious so much. And she talks about how her subconscious is yelling at her to do this or that. And I'm like, girl, that's just your brain. It's just what it's like to have thoughts.
And while she's talking about her subconscious to her subconscious, her inner goddess is listening. Christian Grey walks in and is like, I need to buy supplies.
Because he found out where she worked.
Yeah.
And showed up there.
And so Dro,
She's having like a 3-minute conversation in her mind.
she's
all the
just
time.
doing this. She's just looking at rope.
If she's actively having
And then
these
he
thoughts,
walks
is it
in.
really her subconscious or is it just conscious?
I think that
But you know what it is. It is her subconscious. Yeah.
I'll let you know.
I'll take that one.
So Mr. Grey walks in and he's like, I need to buy some stuff. And she's like, oh my god, okay. And
What
she
do you need?
whispers. So he buys all this stuff and Anna's like, hey, we actually.
Well, it's very dramatic. It's like, can I help you with anything? And he's like, I'm looking for some rope. She's like, oh, can I? And she's like, what about this rope? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, anything else? He goes, zip ties. And then she's like, these zip ties or these zip ties? And then something else, masking tape.
tape. Well, that's from, I think that's from the, oh no, a tarp.
A tarp. A tarp.
For the
tarp.
juices.
Yeah.
To slide down.
Yeah.
The juice slide down.
I'm talking about
Say that ever
orange
again.
juice. What the fuck? I will say, okay, side note, one of my favorite podcasts is How Did This Get Made? And they actually just did 50 Shades of Grey. They're doing all 3 movies. I did not listen. I listened to the beginning and I was like, I have to stop because I'm just going to say shit, like stuff that they say. But they did say that they were talking about when he's ordering stuff, and Paul did research, probably from Wikipedia, and was like, zip ties are like not a thing in the BDSM community. They've been like outlawed.
They are dangerous.
They've been like said like no one uses this, so that's a very like
I'm sorry.
actually inaccurate thing.
I was talking to my subconscious.
Oh, sorry.
What was it? What was illegal?
It's zip ties.
Zip ties.
So in the movie and the book, he like buys them, and
does zip
in a
ties.
later scene he zip ties her wrists, but it's not
Ouchie.
like. Well, I don't think it's that tight. I
It's
think
it's more like the reason you're not really supposed to use zip ties, from what I've heard, is it's very hard if there is an issue, if like someone calls red or someone is hurt or in distress.
You can't get
It's
out of
very
it fast.
hard to cut a zip tie compared to other binding things that
Yeah.
are perfectly acceptable to use.
And you need
it's
you need
just better to
like
not
scissors, and then that's
Yeah,
dangerous
that's
too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so just better not to. So if anybody's trying to do kinky shit,
don't
use zip ties.
don't use zip ties.
Okay.
Cool.
Hey,
Rope
did we
it
all
is.
learn something today? I think so.
Or you know.
While he's buying this stuff, she's like, Kate loved all the questions you answered, but you know, she was hoping for some pictures, and he's like, I'll stay for some pictures. And she's like,
Photo shoot.
sounds good. She calls her friend Jose, who is a photographer.
Jose is Jacob.
Jose is Jacob.
Oh,
shit.
interesting.
J names. So
Sure.
easy to know. Easy to know. And they go to the Heathman, which is the like big Vancouver, Washington cool hotel, and they rent out the room and they do a nice photo shoot. And Christian's kind of scowling because Jose's flirting with Anna and they're just friends, but Anna doesn't know them. Blah blah blah. And afterwards, he's like, "Do we want to go get a cup of coffee?" That's also my Christian Grey. Does it sound okay?
It sounds great.
Do you want to go get a cup of coffee?
Sounds great.
That's enough.
Sorry you're in the middle of all this.
What?
So they go get coffee. Yes? They go
Yeah, they go get coffee. Well, actually, she drinks tea. Excuse me.
Oh, yes. She drinks tea.
Never
She doesn't
coffee,
drink
only
coffee.
tea. Only
What?
English breakfast tea.
I know. She's
Only English breakfast.
Not even Earl Grey.
Oh my
I
Oh yeah, that was good. That
You
was
earned
good.
it
That
that
was
time.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, I didn't say anything. I just was here. And so they start talking, and he's kind of like probing her with questions of like,
Probing.
We gotta get through the story somehow, you guys.
he's zamboning her with questions. And I'm gonna add some hockey terms in now.
Yeah.
He gets all huffy. She's like, I'm a romantic. I'm an English major.
And he says, I don't do romance.
Yes. And
Dear
he
little
just,
book report.
he gets all angry and moody, and she's just drinking her tea, and she's like, I'm on a date, and he's like, okay, I gotta go. And so he's like, this isn't gonna work out. They start walking away from coffee, and she's being clumsy, Anna, and she walks into the bike lane, and a biker, not a vroom vroom, a ding ding,
Ding, yeah.
and almost hits her, and he's like, Anna, and he pulls her away, and he like holds her in his arms.
saves her.
He saves her, and it's very.
It's almost like she was about to get hit by a car.
A car is one thing. A car is one thing. A bike.
A bike.
But those spokes.
She may have needed some
Is
stitches.
that on a bike?
Thanks, folks.
Thanks,
Thank
Vince.
you.
And she says for the first time in 21 years, she wants to be kissed. And
Yeah, she hasn't wanted to be kissed her entire life, but this man pulls her away from a speeding bicycle. It all.
it makes her fanny flutter, let me tell you.
Me
And,
only at 16 could not disagree more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so she makes it very obvious that she wants a kiss, and he very confusingly brushes it off and is like, I'm not.
I don't do romance. I'm not the guy for you, Anna. I can't kiss you right
Which
now.
then this drives me insane. She they walk back to the haven. She goes off into the parking garage and does the classic 90s against a wall.
She slides down and starts
And I'm like, you're in a parking lot in the Pacific Northwest where serial killers are abound. That's how you die.
Like they're filming Scream 4 down the street. You know?
Probably. Oh my God.
There's a Bigfoot out there.
I wrote in your notes, bitch, go to your car.
And I also wrote, it's because we shared notes. This is the first time we've ever shared notes.
Oh.
We are friends. It said, it's been 3 days and we're at slide down a wall crying.
She has interacted with this man twice. 2 days.
3 times.
Three times, 2 days. And now we're at slide down a wall crying.
She's like,
When you know. It's
Wait,
love.
Have either of you, has anyone here, well, you don't have to answer. You're not up here. Slid down the wall and cried.
For fun.
Okay, honestly, I think for fun too. But for real. For real, the emotion hits you. You were in usually a bathroom, at school. You hit the bathroom. What now?
Only
that.
when people are watching to make them feel bad.
Amen. I love an audience.
So this is a thing that has happened in real life, I guess. This is not just a trope.
Like in high school to be a dramatic bitch.
I like to think you were in the bathroom for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Doing that on repeat.
Waiting.
Waiting for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment, and then you just open the stall, and then close the stall again and slide down. Yeah.
That girl
You're
with the
peeking
blue hair is
through.
crazy.
Oh man. So the next night, it's near the end of college. Anna and Kate and Jose and a host of others are going out to a local bar, if you will, a watering hole. And she goes, and they're getting drunk.
And Anna doesn't drink though.
She does not drink. She starts out this chapter by saying, I'm at the bar on my 5th glass of margaritas. This bitch would be throwing up in the bathroom. Am I right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
She does not drink. She's on her 5th glass. She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. It trounces to the fucking.
Does the book say glass of margaritas?
Yes.
Because no one says that. You would say 5th margarita,
Correct.
not glass of margarita.
E.L. James is British, so maybe they say
They don't have.
they have to specify.
Margaritas haven't made it over there yet.
But they have to specify
that's
how
true.
they're drinking.
I
it.
guess.
And also, what glass? Are we thinking a chalice?
Yes.
Or
Everything is
a
not
bucket?
mine.
Like a frozen wine with
I don't know, big water bottle.
Yeah. I think either way, she's gonna drink it like this though, because in the movie she drinks everything like this.
With
a two-hander.
one
Like it's
tiny,
a hot
skinny
cup.
black straw.
Yeah.
every single thing she drinks is like.
I'm over it. She's so worried about stability.
She's
Yeah.
so clumsy. Like she has to really
Yeah.
put 2
She would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Girl, drink it up.
She goes to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom after the fit. She's had 5. She has to pee, and she's in the long line, and she drunk Dials Christian, and it's like, you're so bossy and you're mean, and he's like, I'm gonna come to you. And I just
it's very. Where are you? You're not safe. You're drunk, and you shouldn't be drunk. I'm gonna come find you and save you. And she's like, I don't know where I am, and hangs up on him. But then he finds her.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And he saves her as well. Hold on,
With my iPhone.
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
It's just like that one time in Twilight.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the
Where
car
Emma
or with
finds her-
the.
No, with the guys after the bookstore.
Yeah.
She's in the parking
When
lot.
the guys are
You know what?
snapping at the.
I think you can see a reenactment of that in Twilight the musical. Yes. I did it for you.
I play a mean bad guy.
I
For
feel
10
like
seconds.
you really exude mean bad guy.
Thank you.
And so they have this fun drunken phone call. We've all done this before, especially me. And Anna goes outside for some fresh air because this broody man has just threatened to come take her away. And so Jose comes out, and it gets a little creepy at this point. He's like, "I've always loved you. I want to kiss you." And she's like, "No." And he's like,
We're just
"Yes."
friends, Jose. We can't.
We're
do
just
this.
friends.
I'm not into you.
Yeah.
He's like, but Anna, and then tries to kiss her.
He is a year younger, so he is not graduating. He's like, am I even going to see you next year? You're leaving. He tries to kiss her, and at that moment, Christian comes out of nowhere, presumably, and is like, away with you, banished. Anna is
I don't know that's what he said.
off with you.
I'm exiling you!
Photographer, take a picture of this.
Be gone now!
He is an old, like, medieval king.
Oh, that explains so much.
I feel like he's a master of the universe. Hey, if I could high-five you.
Roll credits.
This is it. She immediately throws up on his shoes.
Yep.
Oh,
Just like
Messy.
George Bush.
So that happened. Just like George Bush.
We all know about the time George Bush threw up on in Japan.
What?
This is a real thing.
Google
Yeah.
George Bush Japan.
He had food poisoning.
He had
I think.
food poisoning
Yeah.
at a big state dinner and threw up on, I think, the Prime Minister of Japan's shoes.
Yeah, it was like literally at this. It was like a.
Yeah, there's video of him just sitting at the dinner and just.
Yeah.
It's great. It's the best thing he did in his 4 years.
Can I also just say, at this point, he's scolding her for getting drunk.
Who, George Bush?
Sorry, we're out of George Bush.
That's enough.
We're back to medieval King Christian Grey.
No, it's
Yeah.
super hot when you get really drunk and sick, and then the guy that's helping you scolds you for it while you're throwing up, right? That's like the sexiest thing you could ever do.
At least hold the hair back.
Yeah, like,
She's finishing college. Let her get drunk.
let the girl drink.
Let
and
her
be
do-
messy.
And this is like her first time drinking.
Yes, and this hot man finds her against her will, and then goes, "You shouldn't be doing this. It's unsafe," and takes her back to his apartment. I think. Right? To sleep
He's
it
at the
off.
hotel.
It's the hotel to sleep it off.
Yeah, and so she passes out. She wakes up in this hotel alone. She sees next to her Advil and water or something. In the movie, it's juice, and we were just watching this, and Jessica goes, warm juice.
I love warm
Yeah.
juice when I'm hungover.
I don't know why, but that made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And she's like, what a controlling freak. I'm like, that's the nicest thing someone could do for you when you're hungover. Give you some Advil and water.
I think she may have been talking about the night before. where
Well,
you-
I thought it was about the Advil.
Oh, so okay,
I want to say so many things to you.
Do your little book report.
You're never coming on my podcast again.
I knew that. Why do you think I'm acting like this?
So they start talking about how they're both super attracted to each other, even though nothing has occurred that would indicate why or that they are. They just are now. They're just both really into each other. Yeah. But Christian does say that he wants to have a sexual relationship with Anna, but first she has to fill out some paperwork. Oh yeah, and then they're like bantering and they almost kiss, but they don't kiss, right?
This is the part in the movie where he bites the toast.
He seductively
If anyone knows what that is.
She's like eating toast, and he goes and chomps it.
Wait, and then
goes
he
and takes
goes
a shower.
like this. Can you just hold up your hand?
Yeah, sure.
And he goes, I'm gonna take a shower. And walks away. Like it's a bite, doesn't swallow it. Bye. And it's so
And she fucking flings it at it.
I wish.
Carry my breath.
She gasps again. and
Also
then-
just
But
never eat
she's
my
always gasping.
I'm just a food person. He buys her
He's
clothes.
done so much for her.
And
She
she's
could give him one bite of toast.
you know what?
Juice.
And not too
God.
much to ask.
He has everything. He needs that by the toast. And he buys her clothing because she threw up on all hers. And it's a perfect fit. And I hate in a book when this happens because it's never a perfect fit if a man just looks at you and buys you clothes. I'm just mad about that. They're talking about her plans to move to Seattle. She bites her lip. I think
She's biting her lip constantly in this game.
enough
biting
that
it all the time.
I think it's like an issue. She needs to see a doctor about
But
this.
also, my issue is: have you ever, in earnest, bitten your lip to be sexy? Ever?
To be sexy, no.
That's not a thing.
Give me a minute.
You're one of the only people I've ever met that I could see maybe.
It gets
Maybe
caught on my
a little bit
veneer
of-
though. That'd be
okay.
funny.
You need to visit, bring your hand
like,
up.
She bits her lip enough. She bits her lip enough that it's a thing that he mentions and says, "Stop biting your lip." Like maybe 2 or 3 times a chapter.
I think she goes, okay.
Also, she does not have
Well,
she does not have big lips. She's not written to be she has these big voluptuous. I think she got thin bird lips. And what is she?
Because she keeps biting.
She's biting off.
She's just wearing down her
pecker.
lips.
There's just nothing there.
Yeah. It's like a beaver. If they don't bite wood, their teeth grow so too long. She's got to keep biting her lip, or it's going to grow up over her face. It's a condition.
I think this might actually be the first like sexual lip biting moment too, which I was like, oh, drink, everyone drink for that. And then as they're going home, he says fuck the paperwork and pushes her up against the elevator to get down to the car.
And presses all the buttons.
Man,
I'm gonna be late to my meeting.
and I do think this is like one of the first against the wall scenes that I like a young Emily read, and that was very much like, I like that, you know.
That's why you have that thing for parking garage elevators.
You
now.
can't. If I'm in a parking garage elevator, it's done. You know, we're pants off, bra on. One sock, half off. We don't have time to get into that. Okay, so he's like, let's go on a date. She's like, yes. They get in a helicopter.
They get in a helicopter because he flies helicopters. And this is the equivalent of the spider monkey thing in Twilight. Is
Yeah.
Sure.
helicopters.
Well, because he can't run fast through vines and trees.
No, but he can fly a helicopter.
So he can fly a helicopter.
I really love to think that there's a long ladder and she's hanging from it.
Hang on!
She's got like a fucking
Go into
helmet.
Seattle!
There's nothing sexier than giant
Whoa,
earphones.
trees.
So rather than a 3-hour car drive, it's like a 1-hour helicopter? What is the equivalent of cars to helicopters?
No, but yeah, that's a great question. Everyone
If
knows
anyone
that.
was gonna know it up here, it'd be Ben.
Come on. You like draw maps. You know?
Yeah, I
He
know
was
a
on Jeopardy.
lot about helicopters.
Really?
He was on Jeopardy
It's
twice.
not a- it's not a
Also,
big
he
deal.
was on the Today Show twice because he got married on the Today Show. Wait, oh, there it is.
I'm in celebrity presence.
Hi, how's it going? Yeah, I imagine, 30, 40 minutes, I guess. I don't know about the helicopters.
Wait, 30 to 40 minutes for a 3-hour drive?
I don't know, I guess. Depends on how...
Guess someone didn't do all the research, didn't they? That'd be me. I should have done it.
Yes, someone didn't tell me this was going to be out about 50 Shades of Grey until, yesterday.
That's the joke.
You just told me this. Twilight.
So they fly to Seattle.
Yeah.
They fly to Seattle in his helicopter, and they go to his penthouse
Yep.
at Escala.
Yes.
That's the name of the penthouse.
And it's very hot.
It's very hot.
He does have her sign an NDA,
Before anything.
which is very hot also.
Is it?
I don't know. I think you should read the NDA very carefully if a man is ever handing you one and going, this is what we need to do to get in bed together. Like,
Well, no,
I think you
it's-
should
okay.
stop.
It's the
go
NDA
talk to a
first.
lawyer.
Yeah. That's,
Don't just sign the NDA because he's hot. I
I
think
think I'd be fine signing the NDA and then talking about it, because then I don't have to sign the other stuff.
You got to talk about it before you sign it.
No, but I'm only signing NDA. I'm not signing a contract.
Well, but then
I just can't talk about it.
Your favorite part though, she signs the NDA, and then what does she say?
She's, hold on, can I just act it out?
Yes.
And now, you'll make love to me? And now you'll
And
make
she bites her lip. Very. You'll make love.
make love. Which, is so gross. Ever. I never want to. I don't think I've ever looked at someone. There's only one person here that I've slept with, and said, "Will you make love to me?" I don't think I've said that. Cool. I'm not saying who it is in this audience.
Just make eye contact. That's fine.
But it's just I just feel like that's the most cringiest. I could see.
it's a bit on the nose.
I wouldn't want to
I
say the
think if
word.
we tried, we could find cringier ways to say it.
I would rather go do you wanna?
All right.
Do you wanna?
You wanna pop
You wanna-
me with your stick?
Yeah.
Do you wanna pull my goalie?
She likes
Yeah, there you go.
pull my-
Hold on, let me pull one for this. Hold
Yeah,
on.
say it before
Do
we
you
keep
wanna
going.
hold on? Do you wanna check from behind?
That was disgusting, Ben. I'm just kidding. That was really
Filthy even?
filthy.
It's 'cause it ain't called Femmes Reading Cleans. What's your paper say?
I really like that one. Okay. He mentions other paperwork, but first he's like, I have to show you something, and he takes her to the Red Room of Pain, is what she calls it. It is
Sex dungeon.
a sex dungeon in a penthouse in Seattle.
It's above ground though,
Yes, it is. Above.
not a dungeon.
Yeah, but a dungeon is the term that you use in the BDSM world for a place that houses.
I just don't think it should be called a dungeon if it's not underground.
Wow, can you take that up with all dominatrixes ever?
Bring them on. Yeah, I will.
I like your energy.
And he starts to very badly explain a dom-sub relationship, basically.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, what is this? He's like, I like to do this, and I like to do
What is
that.
this? You just signed a contract, girl.
No, she just signed an NDA.
She's not NDA.
Yeah.
She is not signed a
Oh,
contract.
I'm bad
yet.
with reading.
It's okay. Well, we didn't put this.
I get bored with the contract. Someone read it.
But the main thing
I
is
need
he's
an
like,
audiobook.
he's like, well,
Yeah.
I will control your entire life, and you will let me do that because you want to, and that's the whole thing. And it's like,
Simple.
no, that's not. That's not usually how that works. And the thing that rubbed me the wrong way is it was, oh God, I think I wrote it
Well,
down.
there's a full-on contract in the book. So if you
Yes.
ever read this, it changes like literal
The
fonts, and it's like
submissive will
appendix
eat
A.
Oh my-
regularly
okay.
to maintain her health and well-being from a prescribed list of foods, which is contained in Appendix 4 of the contract. The submissive will not snack between meals with the exception of fruit.
That's
Fuck off.
cruel.
It's awful.
Fuck you, Christian Grey.
What if I fucking want Cheez-It?
What if I watch Jesus, goddammit?
With
You
hummus.
should be able to have fun.
With
Yeah, and if I get farty, so what? So what?
He gets to deal
Eat
with
it.
it.
Eat it.
Yes.
But at this point, he's like, well, what do you? We have to go through like hard limits and soft limits. Like, what do you like? She's like, I don't know, I've never done this before. And he's like,
I'm 21.
what? Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's 22, and
so
but she's a big old virgin. He's like, oh my God, and he starts to get like mad, and she's like, oh my God, why are you getting
He's
mad
like,
at me?
why didn't you tell me you were a virgin? And she was like, it didn't come up.
At what
What
point?
you want from
At
me?
what
We've known each other for 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah, well, literally 3 days. But he's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at myself for like exposing you to this before, like you know
For
something.
corrupting you and your innocent heart. Or
Oh.
And so he's like, well, you have to learn what you like before you do anything. So they go and they have sex for the first time.
And he tells her, yes, woo, sex, but also he tells her like, oh, I want to see what you like, and wants her to like masturbate, and she's like, well, I've never done that either. So she's never.
I mean, you've never lived?
She's never lived. She's never drank.
Boring.
She's never drank alcohol, coffee, had sex, or touched herself up until the last 2 to 3 days that we're reading.
she's a
about.
baby.
She's a little innocent baby.
I don't know if I'd be friends with her.
I would. She's not very fun. No.
That's okay. She can sip her tea in
This
the
is
corner
her
alone.
finding herself.
So this is sex scene number 1, which I just called simply "Let's start at the beginning." And they have vanilla sex. He goes down on her, great, and she wakes up after being thoroughly ravaged. Ravaged?
Ravish?
Either way.
Ravish.
Radish.
Radish.
Fuck.
That's it.
Radish.
Yes.
And she wakes up. He's downstairs playing sad boy emo piano.
Oh, you're saying playing Sims.
He plays
I thought you
piano.
were saying playing Sims. Ah, please.
He plays
He's making them woo-hoo.
The following morning, he's like, "Let's go back upstairs," and then they fall asleep. The following morning, she makes him breakfast.
More
and
juice.
little pigtails, more warm juice. It's just out.
There's no fridge. What the hell?
They like take a bath. I don't like it.
Together?
Together. And
He's like,
his-
let's get you cleaned up, and then like they get in the bath and he like sponges.
I like that they need like a rubber touch. You know, like Yuri has loofah.
yeah.
Bubble.
Yes.
His mom, Grace, arrives. She's surprised to meet Anne because she's never seen her son with a woman before. And she's like, "I'll meet you later. Come to dinner." And she's like, "Okay." And he
She's
ends
an
up
elderly witch.
to my cauldron. And so he drives her back to Vancouver, Washington, not Canada. And she learns more about his past subby life and how this all started.
Yeah, it's kinda gross.
This isn't that we don't like this part.
He just like tells her that in the car ride.
She asks questions about it.
Okay.
It's not just silent, and then he's like, "I lost my virginity at 15."
But he did.
But he did.
His virginity
Yeah.
at 15.
To one of his mother's friends.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
And he was her sub. Her name is Elena Lincoln. It's a sexy name.
They did a Donnie subby thing when he was 15 and she was 40.
Yeah, and he did it for like 6 years. He's like,
Yeah.
"I loved it," and Anna's like, "That's disgusting."
That's real fucked up. And
Yeah.
he's like, what do you mean it made me a man? And this is the second time there's been a story like that in one of our live shows.
We have a theme. So Anna goes home. She reads over the contract, and she's having a hard time researching because she doesn't have a computer.
Like you two.
Just so people know, like, we are friends. Like,
This is
we
fun
are
for
friends.
us.
This is a normal thing for us. I just don't want everyone to think like this guy is so rude to the.
I'm not
Gorgeous
I'm not
Emily.
like this as much when I'm not around you specifically.
So upsetting. He gets her a computer because why not? Because he's a millionaire and she doesn't have one. Because it's
Like
2011.
a Dell or like
Probably no, it's a Mac.
Wait.
It's like the newest Apple.
Adele bought someone a computer.
Shut your mouth.
We have a lot to get through. true, Ben.
But also, like, Dells are better for Sims, so, you know.
Are we doing all three or just the first one?
Just the first
Just the
one.
first one.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, he buys her a computer, which is so weird because it's 2011. She just finished college. We all
didn't
had a
have-
laptop.
I
didn't have one?
absolutely owned a laptop.
We all had a laptop in at least 2000.
She didn't.
Or at least a home
She
computer.
just discovered email, and
yeah.
they basically like sext through email for a while. Like
But-
they start emailing back and forth, and that's a huge.
Yeah, like
They
real
also-
millennials.
They don't just hit reply. They change the subject
line
of
every time.
every email.
So they're just hitting new emails.
Yes.
How crazy.
How do they keep up with what they've already done?
That's my thing. Where it's like they'll flirt, and then she'll be like, "Per what you said in the last email in the subject line."
That's
and then
so
write a sentence
inefficient.
in
And
the
you're there per my last emailing sexting?
Yes.
That's horrible.
Drove me nuts.
So
Yeah.
Anna becomes overwhelmed with all this emailing and this research, and she's just like, she sends like a, haha, it was nice knowing ya. I looked up what a sub was. And like that's like the last email she sent.
And
she
she's
goes,
trying to be silly and fun.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
She's just a.
she's emailing the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Being silly.
Clearly, if you think this is a funny joke to him, like you don't know him at all.
No.
Like it's so dumb.
No.
She goes on a run. She puts her hairs in pigtails while she runs, and that upsets me.
Okay, now that is.
No one does that.
That's
No one puts their hair in pigtails.
That's
Loose pigtails. I
To run. It's
Like,
cute.
I
think
think
it's
it's like
loose. I think
pigtails,
it's
like
loose.
at the very ends of the
in the
hair.
movie, they're
Yeah.
low. In the movie,
So they're very much
low
down here.
pigtails.
Or like Pippi Longstocking, like hairspray.
That
So
would
she
be
can twirl them.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be fine. That'd be fine.
And he shows up that night, and he goes, "It was nice to know me." I change his voice every time.
Because he's the Wizard of Oz, apparently.
It's so versatile.
And this one, she's like, "What?" And he ties her to her headboard, and he blindfolds her. And I call this one, no, but it's like consensual. It's okay. And
They signed the whole thing.
yeah. And I call this one number 2. She just went on a run. She didn't shower.
Some guys are into that.
I feel like he gets into her crevices.
Oh,
Is that one of those you heard it as you said it?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
You meet her
pull it up.
creases.
Pull it up. Yeah.
Why can I not speak today?
It's a good list.
Yeah, it's a great list.
Some people like the stink.
Some,
You know,
some
that's okay.
Napoleon liked the stink.
So they have sex.
Anyway,
That's
so
true.
she agrees to look over the contract.
I don't remember that part.
She sends him
No,
detailed notes
Yeah.
about her objections to the contract, which
Okay.
I really appreciate.
That is
I would've
fierce.
done that too.
That's
Yes.
fierce.
And
Go
she-
and work, Diva Queen.
Yes, and she also says we need to meet to discuss the contract, but we should meet over dinner, and it is a business meeting, and I'm gonna wear my business clothes, and like
And
we're
you're gonna take
serious.
them off me at the end.
Maybe a little, maybe a little
Please,
bit.
please.
But it's mainly like we are gonna be very serious, talk about this contract, and here are my notes. She doesn't really understand hard and soft. Or oh, you have another favorite part. She asks on her butt plugs.
Which is a stupid question because the name tells you
The
exactly
name tells
where it goes and what it does.
We all
very functional.
we can all figure it.
Yeah, it's self-descriptive.
No. But it's in the movie too. She just goes, "What are butt plugs?"
No, she looks excited. She goes, "What are butt plugs?" Like it's a whole like,
Good
oh,
for
she's
her.
in musical theater. Who ate the cookie? You know? So they talk about all these changes.
Like a number start.
They have the talk.
They have the talk.
And she doesn't sign it yet. She's still like, okay, let's still think about it, yada, yada, yada. In
Yeah.
the meantime, she goes home. She graduates from college.
He
And
speaks at the
he
commencement.
speaks at the commencement.
Anna Kendrick speaks at the graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A princess.
And that night, she like her dad comes, and Christian meets her dad, and it's like none of that matters. Later that night, he's like, "I'll meet you for dinner," and I'm just gonna keep doing that. And we wrote down, this is a story about two people being honest about who they are, and the other one going, "I love you, but can you change? I don't care." Like it's, they keep saying like, "This is who I am. This is who I am. You can be this for me. You can be this for me, but I won't change." It's like this awful. It's awful. They keep going
She's
back
like,
and
"I
forth.
love you so much, and you're everything I've ever wanted, but I don't want to do the dom sub thing." And he's saying, "I love you so much, you're everything I ever wanted, but this is fundamental to who I am, so we should do the dom sub thing." And then she's like, "Can you give it up for me?" And he's like, "Can you get on board?" And it's infuriating.
And while they're having this conversation, she ends up rolling her eyes, and he's like, if you were mine, I would spank you for rolling your eyes. And she's like, well, what? And then she like does
Well,
Say what now, mister?
Wait.
what?
A spanking.
And so then she's like, well, basically she's like, yeah, okay. And she rolls her eyes again, knowing that he's going to do it. He ends up spanking her. And she's very confused, and she kind of likes it, she kind of doesn't.
She farts.
She had way too much.
He was stuck up in there and he drove it out.
And I call this one number 3, the baby oil ruins it for me, because they spank, they have the sex, and then he walks away, comes back with baby oil, and is like, let me rub this on your tuchus. And I'm like, no.
Oh, that's.
He doesn't say tuchus, I added that for me.
Oh.
This is when we get a famous line that says, I'm 50 Shades of Fucked Up.
Yeah, I'm 50 Shades of fucked up, Anna.
And you wrote lol STFU.
Shut the fuck up. If you ever look someone in the eye and say, I'm 50 Shades of fucked up, you should just immediately faint. You should be punished in some way. No.
She ends up moving. Her and Kate moved to Seattle. Kate's parents bought them an apartment that they can live in Pike Place Market, which is like a
Must
very
be nice.
it's a famous fish market, and
So
it's
it's
like
an expensive part of Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Shout out to
insane.
Belltown. Anyone?
No.
Yeah, one person. Thank you.
You go. Belltown.
And she comes over that Sunday. It's like they move on a Saturday. He's like, I'll see you on Sunday. She comes over. She gets birth control because she wasn't on it, and he was like, I can get you some.
He pays for her birth control, which actually, good for him.
Love
Yeah.
that. Free BC.
Sure.
Free BC for all. And she's like, so you're all like pilled up, and she's like, yes. And he's like, should we try things? And she's like, okay. And I call this one number 4, cue the Beyonce, because this is the very famous scene from the movie in which they go into the Red Room of Pain for the first time. She is like tussled up on a St. Andrews, and there's like little like beep bops, and like it's
Eagle bops.
so that's fun.
That's Emily's favorite word.
Okay.
I love that part. Later that night, she wakes up. She's been all sexed up, and he's like,
He sexed her up good.
he sexed her up real nice.
Just the way she likes.
Yeah, no baby oil involved
The
this time.
right way.
And she gets invited to dinner,
Yes.
and
With his family.
yes,
Oh. And his dad's name is Carrick.
I think it's like
That's
an
fucking
Irish name.
No.
C-A-R-R-I-C-K Carrick.
Oh, you like Carlisle, but you changed the back half?
I guess.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Wait, Esme? No, Grace.
Grace is Esme. I don't know.
Gresme.
Carrick.
Carrick and Grosme.
Yep.
I can't speak right today. They go to dinner. She meets the whole family. Everyone's charming. She reveals she's going to Georgia for a few days to visit her mother, who is on her third husband. He gets all mad because he's like, I didn't know you were going to Georgia. You didn't tell me. And he takes her to the boathouse and fucks her. I didn't name this one because like I didn't care about it. It's a boathouse fucking. That's the name of it. The two continue their arrangement without Anna having signed the contract. Gray is
Risky.
yeah,
Risky. And he keeps going, I'm going against my own rules because I can't resist you. And I keep going, why can't you resist her? Why?
When you know, you know.
I guess.
this leads to she spends the night with him prior to the Georgia flight, and there's a whole thing where she can't touch him, like he doesn't like his chest being touched, and it comes out later on why. Not really. It's like in the 3rd book, but like
It's not worth it.
he's like if I tell you, or she's like if you tell me, I'll let you like do something to me. Which is a great way to have a relationship. And so
Relationships are basically transactional. Yeah.
he puts these 2 little steel balls inside of her. And I don't that's like a normal thing, but I call this one baller. I hardly
That's not necessarily a normal thing.
No,
It's
that's
a thing.
It's a thing that I've heard of.
Okay.
So it must be normal.
Well, to be fair, you're kind of a perv.
Let's silence that.
I was gonna say freak, and then I decided to change the last minute. I'm glad I did.
I'm so happy
You're
that
doing a great job.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I've been having a complimentary today.
No, it's cool. I'm totally a perv.
It's like your whole the thing. Do the thing.
It was so quiet. It made me so happy.
Me too, honestly.
The next morning, he sweeps all the stuff off his desk, and they do it again. I didn't name that one. Desk, I hardly know her. I don't know.
Desk.
And it goes to Georgia to visit her mom.
Yes.
Party.
And she's kind of happy to not. She's like, I told Christian not to follow me to Georgia, and I'm kind of excited to get a break from him, which is something that you really should be thinking about. Someone like when they're a month into a relationship with is, I'm so excited to not see this person for a while.
So we call it red flag.
Yeah, a little bit. And so she goes to Georgia to see her family, and guess who shows up in Georgia?
Jose.
I wish.
They're like at dinner, and Christian's at the restaurant. So he just shows up.
He's like the waiter.
Yeah. He's like got a fake mustache.
This is my part.
Yeah.
This is for fun.
Can I also say before he shows up, because he shows up at the hotel, she's talking to her mom. They're having drinks, and the line is, "I gaze at my mom. She is on her 4th marriage. Maybe she does know something about men." To which I said, "What?" I feel like she doesn't know too much. I don't know. No judgment.
No judgment. No judgment.
I got a lot of family members up there in the marriage count.
But it's like I wouldn't.
I feel like that's generally a sign that you don't know men.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
As long as someone else said it.
No, I'll say it.
You know, who wants to know men?
That's
No.
that's very.
Let's be honest. No offense, men. You're great.
Yeah.
And I'm single, in case you.
He comes and they talk.
What?
He arrives.
At dinner? Gross!
He's staying at the hotel.
The Ritz.
Yes.
Yeah. She goes up.
I like to think.
The Ritz of Georgia. And her mom's like, "You need to talk to him. Go spend the night with him." And they like talk. It's like I missed you too. I'm kind of mad at you because you still haven't signed my contract. Well, you too, but I missed you. It's like this weird thing.
What kind of like room do they have? Like 1 king or 2 queens?
I think it's a 1 king suite.
Okay.
Oh.
So they have plans.
A suite at the Ritz of Georgia.
Okay.
And also, like, I called this one number 6 period sex.
Yep.
Because he's like, "Are you bleeding?" Which I was like, first of all, never ask a woman that. But she's like, "I am," and he's like, "I'll help you." And he like, you guys,
He pulls her tampon out for her.
Like a gentleman.
so I would never.
So you can open a door for a woman, but you can't pull out her. Is that what I'm getting? That's the lesson I'm learning.
Please don't.
You can pull out her chair at dinner.
But you can't pretend.
And I think the thing that I pictured too is that he just yanks it and tosses it.
Oh no!
Well, it's gross. He doesn't want to hold it.
No, but this is
Right in
also
the
like.
basket.
Stick to the wall.
No, he's undressing. No, he's undressing her at the same time. So it's supposed to be like a sensual like I think he goes
sensual
down.
tampon.
He like takes the pants down while he's on his knees and he's like, "You owe me this." And I think it's a slick little like a beep bus, you know.
I think he says,
Oh my
"Excuse me, sir, I was gonna go in there."
I was singing the song "Period Sex" from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. If you don't know that, it's a great. Thank you. It's great. The next morning they go gliding.
Yeah.
They don't go flying. They go gliding. Don't ask. They have breakfast. She learns about the 15 other subs that he's had, and suddenly there's a situation. Yeah, 15 other women.
Wow, he's busy.
Well, that's not just the subs.
Jimmy
he's
John's
had.
ain't even got 15. You got.
You gotta give it up. You gotta give it up.
That's so stupid. He leaves. Oh, there's a situation in Seattle,
Yes.
and he's like, "I gotta go."
A business situation. He has to. He's got to go to business.
He left his part-time job for the Ritz.
And so,
Brave. Okay.
and she's immediately like, "Oh my God, it must be Mrs. Robinson, who is what she calls Elena, the woman who
That he
was
lost
a sub."
virginity.
Oh.
They're still friends. He's still friends with Elena, the
But
older woman that
yeah.
he was her sub for a while.
Okay.
He goes into like his relationship with her a bit, how they're business partners, but she immediately is like, "It must be Mrs. Robinson," and I was like, "That is like a jump." He just
She
said,
spirals.
She spirals hardcore, and it's just really annoying. And I just hate Anna in the book. And it'll like, so she comes back. She comes back to Seattle, and she goes straight to Christian's house, and he's all pissed off because the situation isn't handled yet, and he immediately the business situation.
Yes.
And he immediately like sees her and like kisses her, and he's like, "Thank God you're
blow
here."
off some steam with your face on my face.
Yeah. And he asks her to go into the room. She's like, "Heck yeah." He reminds her about safe words. He's like, I don't know if I can control myself. I need your safe words. She's like, okay. And he blindfolds her, ties her to a bed. They use a flogger and like a furry thing.
Yeah.
Can I ask the question?
Yeah.
I forget about flog. It's like a spanker thing?
It's that video game where you try to jump
No, that's
across.
It's like a horse
Okay.
riding crop.
There's a difference between a crop and a flogger, but like a flogger is, it looks like there's usually like a handle, and then a lot of the time it'll be like leather strips of cloth or whatever,
yeah,
and it's
okay.
kind of swishy.
Like a ponytail.
Like a sexy
Yes.
mop.
Okay.
Like a handle.
It's a sexy mop.
Sexy mop.
You can use it to hit people.
Or a mop.
Hey, you know?
At this point, I got a little lazy with the names, and I called this one soft hits, hard fucks.
Yeah.
You know. Afterwards, Anna's like, should I sign the contract? And he's like, man, we've done enough. You know, I don't
He's like, I don't really feel tied to it at this point.
Yeah.
I could sleep on it.
But he's like, well, we're gonna have a relationship, but like, I'll still punish you, like when you need to. And she's like, I don't like that. I don't want to be punished. And he's like, I need it. It's who I am.
need it. I need to make you feel pain. And so then she decides, oh, well, like, before I sign the contract, I want to know how
Rough it
how
could be.
bad it
Yeah.
could be. Can you just, like, spank me as hard as you can? Like, I want to know.
Like spank
This,
back to
the
Georgia.
full
Yeah,
spectrum.
spank
of
me
it.
back to Georgia.
Yeah.
Is essentially
Spank me
the-
back to
I'll get a parachute.
and so he says, okay, are you sure? And she says, yes. And she asks for as hard as he can. And then he does, and she
Through the window.
she doesn't safe her out.
Okay.
She doesn't like do really
Anything.
to indicate that she's in distress, except for we hear in her subconscious mind.
Her inner goddess.
Which
Yes.
he cannot hear her
He
subconscious.
cannot hear her.
I just want everyone to know that.
Because she's a shield. Thank you. Yeah, right? Not a laugh, but I'll take it.
And so he spanks her as hard as he can. She is in distress about it, but she at no point indicates that she is. And then she gets very, very, very upset with him and calls him a monster and tells him that he shouldn't have ever done that to her and that she thinks that he's horrible. And he's upset by that. And I understand why he's upset by that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a little bit Team Christian in this moment.
I think I'm 100%.
Yeah.
She doesn't say any. There's no communication in this moment.
Yeah.
And we famously on this podcast
We love
love good communication.
Yeah.
And
Amen. Sorry.
I wasn't expecting that.
That was
Either
a
that
form
or
of
fart.
communication.
And she's like, we're done. And she leaves and she goes home and she cries into her bed. And Christian's like, what did I do? And that's the end of book one.
That's the end of book one.
That's
How
the
many
end
books
of
are there?
Incredible.
There are
Three.
3 books.
Fuck, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your show. You can say
The
whatever
first-
you want.
The first book takes place, it's like maybe 2 weeks. That's the whole
The
time.
timeline?
Yeah.
I mean, Twilight's similar. The first book of Twilight takes place in like 3 weeks, maybe, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
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 But what did you guys think, first of all? What did you think of 50 Shades of Grey in comparison to Twilight, the both works of art?
I thought it was plagiarism.
Yeah, it sounds like exactly the same thing, basically. It sounds like E.L. James has about the same grip on how humans interact with each other as Stephanie Meyer. So it's some good consistency, so, you know, congruency there. That's nice.
Yeah.
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 I thought it was. I would read this.
I would give it, I'd say,
Fine,
You gotta complete the trilogy.
I know. I think so.
I'm going to give
It
it
gets
like,
crazy in the third book.
Oh
let me tell you.
god.
I'm going to give it like 22 Shades of Grey.
You'd rather have 22 than
Out
50.
of 50, I'm giving it 22. Yeah.
Like a half. Like a
Just
like
over
a
half. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what's half of 50? I figured.
25.
Yeah.
I figured it out on my own.
Math is hard.
Watch that block. Boom.
Damn.
So I think your wrap was up.
Yeah.
We wanted to play a little game about Twilight 50 Shades. Is everyone okay to play a little?
Honestly, Jess and I, we're experts. We know everything about it,
We
so we're
know
not gonna.
everything.
But we are gonna bring 2 other people up here to play the game.
Yes.
So-
2 members of the Twihard cast.
Yes. So you've seen them in Twihard. Please, well, I was gonna say as they play multiple characters, so I can't really say. But please welcome Max and Cosmo. Come here.
It's okay.
I'm gonna get out of your way.
Heads up, 7-Up.
I want whatever drugs you take.
Okay.
I'm gonna be nicer to you than I was to her.
We're gonna play a little game.
We're
And we did purchase a prize for whoever
Oh.
wins.
Yes.
Oh, that's
This is
fun.
you should-
I'm gonna show you the prize so you know the stakes.
I think you should also walk.
Oh my god. Whoever wins the game.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh, get out of here.
all right. Valentine's is coming up, and I haven't bought anything for my wife yet.
So, do you want to tell the people about the game?
So you have a card each. On one side is Twilight. On the other side is 50 Shades of Grey. Things and cats.
Oh, wow.
And we are going to read some reviews, some real Amazon or Letterboxd, both reviews, from both Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey. And you are going to have to hold up what movie you think it's from.
I just realized that we need to keep track of correctly.
Yeah.
And so,
there's a pen on that side.
amazing.
Crossing in the
Skip.
back.
Give me a pen and I will keep track.
Okay. Oh, that was so cute. We also have stickers. In case anyone wants a sticker. Do you know what? You get a sticker.
Yeah.
You get a sticker. You get a sticker
Yeah,
and a sticker.
Put it on my
The rest of you fight for it. No, kidding. Later on. But okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I hope.
Okay. Remember, you're gonna hold it up to the audience, obviously, of what you think it is. So, number 1. This is hard to balance. Okay. When she asked what a butt plug is, my soul left my body and went straight down to hell. And you know what? It's happier there.
I think it's the one we just talked about.
Yeah.
we had to include that one because it's amazing. But yes, you all got it right. 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
Yay. Who's keeping track of points?
This here. Jessica is.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Don't worry, we got you.
I got the scores.
Husband never seen it, so one night he woke me up watching it and actually got into the movie too. LOL, shocked me. Great story, books are even better, so I recommend reading and watching both. Movie is a shortened version of the books, but still a great watch. A lot harder. Yeah, we got one Twilight, we got Twilight, 150 Shades, so 3 Twilights, 150 Shades. The answer is Twilight.
Fuck yes.
Well, they're both, it's subjective.
There's no way the movie's a shortened version of 50 Shades of Grey. There's nothing to shorten.
The book
It would be
was long.
20 minutes.
Ready? Cinema was invented, peaked, and then died, all within the 2 hours and 20 minutes of this.
So which movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes? That's the question.
I can't tell you. No one say it. We got 150 Shades, we got one Twilight, we got one Twilight.
No, I'm changing to 50 Shades.
Oh, we got
I'm
So 350 Shades and Twilight? It is Twilight.
Damn it. Is that about the first Twilight movie?
This is the first Twilight and
Okay.
the first 50 Shades.
okay.
That's not 220. I'm sorry. Speaking as someone who's intimately familiar with the runtime of Twilight, it's not 220. It was like the credits start at 151.
The extended edition.
Bullshit.
All right, ready? This movie proves men would literally do anything else instead of going to therapy.
Can I do both?
No, you have to pick one.
I think it's
50, 50, 50,
This is my
Twilight.
joke answer, but this is my real answer.
The answer is 50 Shades. What are our scores so far, Jess?
We have Cosmo in the lead with 4, and then Nikki and Ben tied at 3 and next at 2.
Amazing.
But it's still anybody's game.
Ready? You don't want to watch this and love it, but you end up really liking it, even when you shouldn't. Twilight, 50 Shades, Twilight. The answer is 50 Shades.
no.
Ben and Cosmo are now tied.
Every scene is 100% explosive, flammable, ever-expanding intensity of cringe and pain and sorrow and love. An honest and critical dissection of hormones. First crushes are no joke, and these two actors, who each went on to be great artists and adults in their own way, seem to be right in the midst of themselves. Twilight is the answer.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
That was everybody's Twilight.
Yeah.
Everyone was okay.
Amen.
They said hormones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not Jamie Dornan.
But we just talked about how stunted Anna was, so we don't know. I feel stupid loving this couple and this movie as much as I do, but as blank and blank have shown us, you can't help who you love. Are they talking about a vampire or an old
billionaire.
medieval lord?
King Arthur returned, like he said he would.
All right, 50, 50, 50. Nikki is.
Good question. Okay.
Yeah, it's 50 Shades of Grey. You guys are really killing it.
Just intuition.
How many more do we have?
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more.
Okay.
We got do some rap.
Y'all going down.
Yeah. Rapid fire.
This movie is kind of wacky, but my wife loves it.
I think I left that review.
Twilight, 50. It is Twilight.
Feels good.
Ready? Just as described. Just as described. 50, 50, 50,
Yeah, I
50.
feel like.
It was Twilight.
Fuck.
All right, 3 more left. We're almost done. Ready? Straight people are weird.
They're both heteronormative.
Straight people are weird. Are they talking about vampires or English lords? We got a 50 over here. We got a Twilight over here. We got a Twilight. We got a. Oh,
Once Ben.
it is 50 Shades of Grey. Great. 2 more. I'm gonna read the long one now.
We are like neck and neck, you guys.
Yeah. Necking.
I think we should read this one, and then whoever the top 2 are, they should do the last one.
I agree.
Because we gotta make it fair.
Cool.
My mom forced me to watch this and then quoted the entire thing and then started crying because she didn't have someone like blank. And I told her that their relationship was actually really abusive, and she said, "Sweetie, I know. Me and your dad got divorced because of this movie. And now she's running around the house looking for something to eat. Please save me." That's a 5-star review.
Was that an Amazon or a Letterboxd?
I think this was an Amazon. This sounds like one I would pick. All right, we got a 50, we got a 50, we got a 50.
To be different.
The answer is Twilight. All right, so who are the top 2?
That answer pulled Nikki ahead into first. With
Watch.
8 points, and then we've got Ben with 7 and Max and Cosmo with 6.
Yikes.
Or should we just do whoever?
Do one more, and then we'll do a tiebreaker because we have.
Oh, okay.
They're all good.
You're all done. All right, then let's just do
Find
this
another one.
I'll come up with one on my own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we can do rock paper scissors.
Ready? You should totally buy this movie and buy the book. It will make you feel hot. You will definitely need a napkin after watching this movie.
No.
Just one now.
Like a full towel.
Single
A
plus.
single now.
Are they talking about glittery vampires or other?
I gotta say 50 Shades of Grey.
You're both saying 50? The answer is 50 Shades of Grey. Jessica, please say the final scores.
The final scores is Max and Cosmo with 6, Ben with 8, and Nikki, our winner, with 9.
I'm staying warm tonight.
Well, that was Femmes Reading Filth Does 50 Shades of Grey. Can you please give it up for all of our guests today? If you haven't already, please go see Twihard, the Twilight parody musical, and please listen to Femmes Reading Filth anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple, whatever.
All places.
Please look at this amazing blanket and have a good night.
Femmes Reading Filth is hosted, produced, and edited by Emily Barusian and Jessica Mall. Intro music by Tom Lehrer. Outro music by David Reddick. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Femmes Reading Filth. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.